We have significant breaking news from Edmonton and the NHL. The NHL has a new highest paid player, and his name is Draisaitl. We'll discuss this huge 8-year extension coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty significant news out of the Edmonton Oilers organization here early today. Of course, the day after Labor Day on Tuesday, right around lunchtime. The Edmonton Oilers have announced that they, along with Draisaitl, have come to an agreement on a brand new 8-year contract extension. Now, we've heard rumblings really for a better part of the offseason that this was likely going to happen. We've also seen, rumors in the past week or two that it was getting closer and, that we were kind of inching towards the final straw here. Of course, the whole offer sheet stuff with St. Louis kind of, had to put this to the wayside, but here we are. It's all done. So all in all, the Edmonton Oilers signed Leon for an 8-year contract extension at $112 million total, which gives him an average annual value of $14 million. So when this kicks in, he will become the NHL's highest paid player, eclipsing Austin Matthews by $750,000. So he's Matthews at $13.25. Of course, McDavid is under that at $12.5. Of course, Connor McDavid's extension will be due this time next year or next offseason, so I expect him to eclipse the 14, probably go 15 or maybe more. I'm not sure. Obviously, that the max any one player can get is 20% of the salary cap allotted to each NHL team. So Draisaitl has been one of the world's best players for an extended period of time. He's had an incredible run. You can bank on 40 to 50 goals, at least 90, if not 100 points. His playoff record speaks for itself. They came within one game, one goal or two of winning the Stanley Cup this past year. They want to keep this core group together. We know there's been rumblings about Draisaitl and McDavid and Bouchard, all kind of making sure that they all get long-term deals, they all stick together, and they all take a little bit less than they could get on the open market. Now, you could make an argument that for Draisaitl, that this is not really taking less per se, but it is compared to what I feel would be on the open market. The Edmonton Oilers are paying him $14 million on this contract. Based on, when it comes to contracts, when I usually look at from an analytics perspective and analyze the data, like AFP Analytics is where I go to kind of get my contract, terms, like what's reasonable. They are very, very accurate with their contract projections. Obviously, teams sometimes stray from that model a little bit, and this would be considered a small overpayment based on what they projected. But they also projected that he would do a 7-year deal, not an 8-year deal, and it would be, closer to that $90 million range. So you're probably looking at, from all these analytic gurus, they all feel it's, anywhere from $500,000 to $800,000-900,000 of overpayment. But they also, I haven't seen anybody disagree with this. He is a franchise player. He is one of the world's and league's top players and continues to produce in the biggest moments. So to me, I have no issue with this. Like I said, I can see McDavid probably getting a bit more than this. He'll eclipse Draisaitl next offseason when they hammer out that extension. So in all honesty, I think Draisaitl is worth every penny. So this is a pretty massive part of the beginning here to keep this core together. Obviously, Leon had to go first. Bouchard could have been extended, but I know the rumor was that he wanted Leon to go first. Leon was going to kind of reset the market here, not only within their team, but within the whole NHL, because it was quite widely expected that he was going to eclipse Matthews and McKinnon and certainly go above those contracts. So obviously, the last couple of years, we've seen a new deal every year kind of become the new highest paid. McKinnon did it, Matthews did it, and now here we are. Draisaitl, McDavid will be next. Want to credit the 2 Months podcast. This also does a couple of things for them. One, it really cements their reliability with their info. They've been pretty accurate with a lot of Oilers stuff here in the last couple of weeks, and I know the first time I've seen them breaking news regarding the Oilers, or really breaking news or putting out some substantial rumors, I was a little hesitant, but I was like, okay, they just seemed really confident in their info, and based on, I was familiar with them a bit with their podcast, but not enough to the point to know how good their sources were, but they have been all over this, and they were more on this than the top insiders in the game. They even put it out last night that the Draisaitl extension was nearing completion, and that we were likely going to get an announcement most likely the next day or so, and well, here we are. So they've proven to be reliable and accurate in that sense. So at least I know from my perspective, and I know when I'm talking to my audience here, that if I get information from them, that it's the sources are good. Doesn't mean everything happens. Some rumors happen, some don't. But when it comes to things like this, trending in the right direction, and it just goes to show that they have good contacts within the Oilers organization. So Leon Draisaitl, NHL's highest paid player, $14 million a year, 8 years, $112 million. I'd love to know what everybody thinks down below. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Oilers fans breathing a sigh of relief, thinking this is going to set the tone for Bouchard and McDavid to follow suit with big contracts and keep this team together. I'm sure there's going to be some, especially fans of other teams, that probably don't like this deal either, whether it's because you don't like the player or you are concerned but it's going to impact your favorite player's next contract, because it certainly will have an impact on some of the top centers around the NHL for sure. So let me know what you think in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with the latest news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.